The basement door opened by itself at 2:17 a.m. I know the exact time because I was staring at the clock when it happened. I hadn't slept in 2 days. Not properly. Not since I started hearing scratching under the floorboards. At first I thought it was rats. Old houses in Knox County are full of them, especially after the infection. No people, no trash collection, no heat. Everything rots eventually. So when I heard something moving under the floor, I told myself it was normal. Rats, hikes, the house settling, anything except the truth. Because the truth was impossible. There was no basement. At least there wasn't supposed to be. I found the house 3 days earlier. Small place outside Muldrow. One floor, two bedrooms, a kitchen, a bathroom. No upstairs, no basement door, no stairs leading down, nothing. It looked perfect. Quiet street, trees blocking the road, a broken fence around the yard, only a few infected nearby. Easy to clear, easy to defend. I remember thinking finally, a place I could actually sleep. That was the first mistake. The first night was normal. Rain outside, zombies wandering somewhere far away, wood creaking in the cold. Nothing special. The second night I heard tapping under the kitchen floor. 3 taps, then silence, then three more. Tap, tap, tap. I stood in the kitchen for almost an hour holding a hammer, listening. The sound never came back. By morning, I convinced myself it was nothing. But then I noticed the rug. There was an old rug under the kitchen table. Brown, stained, heavy, the kind of thing most people would ignore. But it had moved. Not much. Maybe a few inches. Just enough that I noticed. I know it moved because I had dragged the table across it the night before. The legs left marks. And now the marks didn't line up anymore. I moved the table away. Then I pulled the rug back. There was nothing underneath, just wooden floorboards. Old, scratched, normal. I almost laughed. I felt stupid. Then I saw it. One of the floorboards had a handle. Small, rusty, almost hidden in the dark wood. My stomach sank immediately. I crouched down and touched it. Cold metal. A hatch. Built into the kitchen floor. I don't know how I missed it when I searched the house. Maybe the rug covered it. Maybe I didn't want to see it. I stared at that handle for a long time. Then I pushed the rug back over it. I didn't open it. That was the smartest thing I did. For about 6 hours. By sunset, the tapping came back. This time louder. Tap, tap, tap. Not random. Not animal. It sounded like a person knocking from underneath the floor. I stood in the hallway trying not to breathe. Then the tapping stopped. A second later, something scratched the underside of the hatch. Slowly, like fingernails dragging across wood. I left the kitchen immediately. I blocked the doorway with a bookshelf. Then I moved my sleeping bag into the bedroom and pushed the dresser against the door. I told myself I would leave in the morning. Take the food. Take the water. Leave the house. Find somewhere else. But morning came and everything was quiet again. No tapping. No scratching. No movement. The bookshelf was still in front of the kitchen. The dresser was still against the bedroom door. Nothing had changed. Except one thing. There was mud on the floor. A single muddy footprint outside my bedroom. Barefoot. Human. Pointing toward the kitchen. I stared at it until my eyes hurt. Then I checked my own boots. Dry. Clean. No mud. I checked the windows. Locked. I checked the doors. Locked. Nothing had entered the house. Nothing had left. And still there was a footprint inside. That was when I should have burned the place down. Instead, I stayed. Because I was tired. Because I had food there. Because the infected outside were getting worse. Because surviving makes you stupid in quiet ways. You start accepting things you should run from. By the third night, I stopped pretending. Something was under the house, and it knew I was there. The tapping started again at exactly midnight. 3 taps. A pause. 3 taps. A pause. Then 5. Then 7. Then 12. Like it was counting. I sat in the bedroom with my back against the wall and counted with it. I don't know why. Maybe I thought if I understood the pattern I would feel safer. But there was no pattern. Just tapping. Scratching. Waiting. Then at 2:17 a.m. the sound stopped. The entire house went silent. No rain. No wind. No infected outside. Nothing. That silence felt worse than the noise. Then I heard a click. From the kitchen. A lock opening. The bookshelf I placed in the doorway dragged across the floor by itself. Slowly. Heavy wood scraping against wood. I couldn't move. I couldn't even blink. Then the kitchen hatch opened. I didn't see it, but I heard it. Old hinges, a low wooden groan. Then cold air moved through the house. I felt it under the bedroom door. Wet air, rotten air, coming from below. The smell hit me first. Dirt, mold, something dead, something old. Then I heard footsteps. Not coming upstairs. There were no stairs, just footsteps inside the kitchen. Bare feet on wood. Slow, wet. One step, then another, then another, moving toward the hallway. I gripped the hammer so hard my fingers were numb. The footsteps stopped outside my bedroom door, right on the other side. I could hear breathing. Slow, deep, too close. I stared at the crack under the door. At first there was only darkness. Then something blocked the light. Two bare feet, standing outside. I didn't move. The breathing continued. Then a voice whispered through the door. Very softly. You found it out, I almost screamed. The voice didn't sound angry. That made it worse. It sounded relieved, like it had been waiting for someone, like it had been waiting for me. I stayed silent. Then the voice whispered again. You weren't supposed to cover the door. The doorknob turned once. Slowly, the dresser held. The knob turned again, harder. The wood around the frame cracked. I raised the hammer, ready to hit whatever came through. Then the radio in my backpack turned on. It had no batteries. I know because I removed them after Riverside. Static filled the bedroom. Loud. Painful. Then the emergency broadcast voice came through. Clearer than I had ever heard it. Unauthorized survivor detected above lower structure. I didn't understand the words at first. Lower structure. Not basement. Not cellar. Lower structure. The thing outside the door stopped breathing. The radio continued. Do not open access point. The voice outside the door changed immediately. It was no longer soft, no longer relieved. It became angry, deep, distorted. You already did. The bedroom door slammed so hard the dresser jumped forward. I swung the hammer before I even saw anything. But the door didn't open. Another slam. Then another. The frame started splitting. The radio screamed static. Then the emergency broadcast voice said one final thing. Leave the house now. I didn't think. I grabbed my backpack, smashed the bedroom window, and climbed out into the rain. Glass cut my hands. I landed badly in the mud. Something slammed against the bedroom door behind me again. The whole window frame shook. I ran toward the trees. I didn't look back until I reached the road. The house was dark, completely dark, except for the kitchen. A pale yellow light glowed from the floor, from the open hatch. Something stood in the kitchen window. Not a person. Too tall, too thin. Its head almost touched the ceiling. Its hands pressed flat against the glass. Long fingers, black nails. And behind it I saw stairs. Impossible stairs, leading down through the kitchen floor. I only saw them for a second. Then the light went out. The window went dark. And the house looked normal again. I left Muldruff before sunrise. I walked until my legs nearly gave out. For 2 days, I slept in cars. Then I found a storage unit near the highway and locked myself inside. No houses. No basements. No wooden floors. Concrete only. I thought concrete would help. It didn't. The tapping started again on the 4th night. Not under the floor. Inside the wall. 3 taps. Then silence. 3 taps. Then silence. I moved to another building. It followed. A warehouse. A gas station. A church. Everywhere I stayed after a few nights the tapping came back. Always below me. Even when there was no below. That's when I realized something. The hatch wasn't in the house. The house was just where I first noticed it. Whatever I had opened or almost opened was in the basement. It was a way in. A door under the world. And now it knew where to knock. Weeks passed. I stopped sleeping near wood. I stopped sleeping near rugs. I stopped sleeping anywhere with the basement. But Knox County is full of old places. Old homes. Old churches. Old stores with locked doors in the back. And every time I see a hatch, even a normal one, I feel sick. Because sometimes when the world gets quiet enough, I hear that voice again. Not loud. Not close. Just barely there. Whispering from under the floor. You found it. Last night I woke up inside an abandoned motel. Concrete floor. No basement. No hatch. No rug. For the first time in weeks I thought maybe it was over. Then I heard the tapping. 3 times. From beneath the bed. Tap. 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 I turned on my flashlight, and underneath the bed cut perfectly into the concrete floor was a small rusty handle.